Once upon a time, there was a big, lively farm. On that farm lived a beautiful racehorse. He was strong, fast, and admired by all. The farmer called him his pride, a real champion. In a quiet corner lived a small, plain pig. He had no prizes, no fame, no attention. Still, between the proud horse and the simple pig grew a true friendship. The pig didn't love the horse for his medals. He loved him for his spirit, brave, honest, and kind. One morning, something terrible happened. The horse fell during training and couldn't move. The farmer ran to get a veterinarian. Hours passed. The horse lay still. Late at night, the vet said, if he doesn't stand before sunrise, we'll have to end his life to stop his pain. The pig heard those words. His heart raced. He ran to the stable, eyes full of tears. Please get up, he cried. I'm here with you. Don't give up now. All night, the pig stayed beside him. He whispered, begged, and prayed. Then, as the first light touched the stable floor, the horse moved. His legs shook, but he stood weak, but alive. The pig cheered with joy. The farmer rushed in, shouting, our champion is alive. But deep down, everyone knew the real hero was the little pig. Days later, the horse raced again. He won a big competition in the city. The farmer held a shiny trophy and smiled with pride. Back on the farm, the pig ran to greet his friend. Then he heard the farmer shout, we won. Let's celebrate. Cook the pig for the feast. The pig froze. The horse heard the farmer's cruel command from his stall. His heart, which had been full of victory, now filled with ice. He looked at his best friend, the pig, whose small body trembled with fear. The horse couldn't believe it. The pig had saved his life. He had been his only comfort in the darkest hour. And now, this was his reward? To be a celebratory meal? A fire ignited in the horse's chest, a mix of rage and despair. He neighed loudly, a sound filled with protest and pain, but the farmer was too busy celebrating to notice. The farmhands started walking toward the pig's corner. The pig, paralyzed by terror, looked at the horse one last time. His eyes were not filled with blame, but with a deep, heartbreaking sadness. He was saying goodbye. In that moment, the horse knew what he had to do. He couldn't let this happen. He had been a champion of the racetrack, but now he had to be a champion for his friend. Gathering all his strength, the same strength that had won him trophies, he kicked the stable door open. The wood splintered with a loud crack. He charged out into the farmyard, placing himself directly between the farmhands and the pig. The men stopped, surprised by the horse's sudden and aggressive behavior. The farmer turned, his happy face turning into a confused frown. What's gotten into you? He yelled, approaching the horse. But the horse stood his ground, snorting and stomping his powerful hooves. He would not move. He was a wall of protection for the terrified pig hiding behind him. The farmer tried to grab the horse's reins, but the horse tossed his head, refusing to be led away. He kept his body firmly in front of the pig, his eyes locked on the farmer's. It was a silent challenge. Everyone on the farm stood watching. The chickens stopped pecking. The cows stopped chewing. An entire day of celebration had come to a halt because of the horse's defiance. The farmer was angry. This is foolishness. He's just a pig. He shouted, but the horse didn't budge. He remembered the long, cold night. He remembered the pig's soft voice, whispering words of encouragement when everyone else had given up hope. He remembered the feeling of that small, warm body next to him, giving him a reason to fight, a reason to stand. This wasn't just a pig. This was his friend, his savior. For what felt like an eternity, the horse and the farmer were locked in a standoff. The sun began to set, casting long shadows across the yard. The farmer, seeing the unwavering loyalty in his champion's eyes, finally let out a long sigh. The anger on his face slowly softened into something else, something like understanding. He looked from the magnificent, defiant horse to the small, trembling pig hiding behind him. He remembered the vet's grim words. He remembered his own joy when he saw the horse standing that morning. He had called the horse a champion, but he had completely forgotten the little hero who made it all possible. He had been blinded by pride and the glory of the trophy. Slowly, the farmer walked forward, not with anger, but with caution. He reached out his hand, not for the reins, but to gently stroke the horse's neck. "You're right," the farmer said, his voice now quiet and full of shame. "You are a true champion, not just for winning races, but for knowing what really matters." He looked over the horse's shoulder at the pig. "There will be no feast tonight," he announced to the farmhands. "Not like that." The men, relieved, nodded and walked away. The farmer then knelt down, looking the little pig in the eyes. "I am sorry," he said softly. "You saved him. You are the hero of this farm. You will not be harmed. Ever." The pig, hearing these words, slowly stopped trembling. He looked at the farmer and then at the horse, who stood tall and protective over him. From that day on, everything on the farm changed. The horse and the pig were inseparable. They were no longer just the champion and the simple pig. They were a team, a symbol of true friendship. The farmer built a special, cozy shelter for the pig right next to the horse's stable. He made sure the pig always had the best food and a warm bed of hay. He had learned a powerful lesson from his horse. He learned that kindness is a prize more valuable than any shiny trophy. He learned that true strength isn't just about being fast or winning competitions. It's about standing up for those you love, especially when they cannot stand up for themselves. The pig, once overlooked and ignored, was now respected by everyone. And the horse, though he continued to win races, found his greatest joy not in the roar of the crowd, but in the quiet moments on the farm, beside his brave and loyal friend. He had almost lost everything, but in standing for another, he found a deeper meaning of grace. The pig, in his moment of greatest fear, had shown only love. And in return, he received the one thing he had always deserved, a life filled with kindness. Their bond became a quiet legend on the farm, a story whispered from one animal to another. It was a story not of a race won, but of a life saved, and of a friendship that proved that the greatest love often comes in the most humble of packages. The horse knew, as he watched his friend sleep safely in his new home, that forgiving the farmer's mistake was the first step toward true peace. Forgiveness didn't erase the past, but it made the future beautiful. The horse had won many medals, but the friendship of the little pig was his greatest treasure. He finally understood that a kind heart was the most beautiful thing in the world, more precious than gold, more brilliant than any award. And the pig, who had never asked for anything, had been given everything that mattered: safety, respect, and the unending love of his best friend. If you enjoyed this beautiful story, don't forget to like the video, share it with anyone you think might find it helpful, and subscribe to the channel for more beautiful stories with a great message. See you in a new video. Until next time.